Hello, everyone, and welcome to Liberty Libations number 48, the Halloween special of 2023. There we go. That's the way to kick it off. I am Ichabod Crane tonight. We've got Steven, we've got Alden, and we've got the Scarecrow down in the bottom right.
This hat is 100% hemp.
There we go.
Pro-hemp Scarecrow.
All right. Well, to kick things off, if you'd like to learn anything about Libertarian Party of Georgia, I feel ridiculous saying anything about the Libertarian Party of Georgia while wearing this mask. Head on over to lpgeorgia.com. Our convention's coming up. If you're a member, go buy your tickets now. Yes, Grumpy, we were late as usual, but it's because we were having some technical difficulties, so apologies on that. Let's see, tickets to the convention right now are $62. I believe that's only for another few days, so make sure you go get them now. $75 after that, and then $85 if you're after December 6th. Let's see, do we have any other LP business before we get into this episode, y'all?
Not that I know. Yeah, off the top of my head, I'm not aware of anything.
I know that did Defend the Guard in Tennessee? Is that still happening, or is that past now?
I know they were phone banking for it over the past few days.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard any update about it though.
Yeah.
I think they were trying to get particular legislators to become sponsors or co-sponsors of it. All
right. Well, go to LP Tennessee's website, learn more about their push for the Defend the Guard. All right, y'all. Well, before we launch into our primary topic of the night, we're going to do trivia. So here we go. All right, everybody. Here we go. The reason we're doing trivia so quickly is because the second round is all about cryptids. So,
Gotcha.
So I hope y'all are ready because we're going to start this. Everybody knows the rules, but we changed what the winner is. The winner is no longer a loser, is now the winning prize. Yeah, there you go. The winner is no longer a loser. Zane has won 10 times. Nick has won 4. Alden 4. Steve 3. Guest 2. Audience 1. Round 1, y'all. It's this day in history. Per usual. Here we go. On this day in 1881, the Earp brothers face off against the Clanton-McClory gang in which legendary confrontation? Alden.
The movie Tombstone.
No. Zane.
The OK Corral.
Shootout at the OK Corral. There we go.
But also the movie Tombstone.
Alden,
yeah.
You make me sad, man. Sorry, y'all. I forgot to update my scoreboard. Just give me 1 second. There we go.
Make sure to reserve 10% of the points for the big guy.
There we go. Okay, next question. On this day in 1985, which singer had her first #1 hit with the song Saving All My Love for You? Steven.
Blondie?
No.
Okay.
Saving All My Love for You.
I have no idea.
I've never heard of this song.
Yes, you have. Steven.
Tina Turner.
No, but you're getting warmer. You can answer again since they clearly are terrible at this. Steven.
Janet Jackson.
No. Oh my gosh. This is Alden.
Donna Summers?
No. You guys are this is depressing. How do you not know these classics? Steven.
Whitney Houston.
Whitney
Dang
Houston.
Yeah!
Bravo. Oh my gosh. That took way too long, y'all. Question number 3. On this day in 1825, what waterway was completed that allowed for ships to travel further into the United States? Zane.
The Erie Canal.
You are correct. It is the Erie Canal. Bravo, Zane.
I can't think of anything interesting to say about that, so we'll just have to go on to the next question.
It's wet.
Darn it. I feel robbed. On this day in 1984, baby Faye received a heart transplant from which animal, living only 20 days after the operation? Zane.
Let's go pig.
Wrong. Alden.
That was gonna be mine. Human.
No. Stephen.
Sheep.
No. Alden.
Sasquatch.
Possible, but no. Stephen.
Cow.
Nope.
That'd be huge.
Zane, you get a guess.
Hippopotamus.
Oh my gosh. Y'all are dumb. This
What's
is dumb.
Baby Faye?
Her nickname was Baby Faye. Like, it's a baby. It's a baby.
A baby? Okay.
A baby got a transplant. Steven.
Chimpanzee.
I'm going to give it to you. It's a baboon.
Yeah, they're closer than what we were saying before, so we'll go with it.
I feel like that would have been painful to keep going after that. All right, question number 5. On this day in 1986, first baseman Bill Buckner lets a ground ball roll through his legs, ultimately leading to the playoff demise of what team?
What year?
Steven.
Oakland A's.
Wrong. It's 1986, Alden. Zane.
The Giants?
No. Alden, you got a guess?
Astros?
Incorrect. I'll give you all a hint. The error was attributed by the fans to be the part of the curse of the Bambino. Zane.
The Red Sox.
Boston Red Sox is correct.
Nice.
All right. Next question. Question number 6. On this day in 2001, George W. Bush signed which extremely controversial document? Alden.
Patriot Act.
Yes, that is.
The Uniting and Strengthening America by something or other, providing the appropriate tools for the something or other of terrorism.
Stop talking.
I believe it's the full name.
There we go.
On this day in
Freedom Fries.
On this day in 1917, which South American country declared war on Germany? Zane.
Uruguay.
Incorrect. Stephen.
Argentina.
Nope. Alden.
Venezuela.
No. The reason they did so. All right, Zane, go for it.
Oh wait, I'll wait till after the hint.
The reason they did so was because their trading vessels were getting destroyed by German U-boats. Zane.
That hint didn't help me at all, but I'll still say Brazil.
Brazil is correct. Oh my goodness. Question number 8. On this day in 1863 at the Freemasons Tavern in London, which organization was formed? Stephen.
Bilderberg Group?
Nope. Zane.
The Shriners.
Nope. Alden, you got a guess? I'll give you all a hint after this one.
Oh, man. The Republicans.
Incorrect. It has nothing to do with politics. In fact, it is not nefarious in the least. Stephen.
Order of the Eastern Star?
I don't even know what that is, so no.
So, no.
That's the female Freemasons.
Gotcha. Zane, Alden, y'all got guesses? Alden.
Greenpeace.
No. Zane.
Riverdance.
Incorrect, but y'all, that's more on the right track. It is more of a recreational activity than it is anything else.
Riverdance is on the right track?
It's more of a recreational activity. Yes. Entertainment.
All right. Okay.
The audience gets it. The Football Association.
Really?
Isn't
Wow.
that insane?
That is wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would not have guessed that.
I know. I thought it was. I knew the Freemasons thing would just throw everything off.
Yeah, for real. We're like New World Order, and you're like, no, football. Like,
On this
Same
day in 1973, which comedic writer, actor, singer, and animator was born? Steven?
Louis Anderson?
No.
No, he's older than that.
Writer, actor, singer, and animator?
Correct.
Wow.
What a talented person.
I don't even know anyone that fits all of these.
Yes, you do.
I
Steven?
do?
Seth MacFarlane.
Seth
Oh, wow.
MacFarlane is
Yes.
correct.
Bravo.
Bravo. Question number 10, final of this round. On this day in 1984, which action thriller was released depicting a dystopian future? Alden.
Terminator.
The Terminator. is
84.
correct.
Yeah.
Oh, what a year for that to be released.
Tombstone.
Round 2, creepy cryptids. Here we go. Let's see how well y'all know your cryptids. Which large aquatic reptile-like cryptid is said to inhabit the waters off the coast of New England? Who hit the camera first?
Zane. I don't know if he wants to go first, but he was first.
Giant squid.
Incorrect.
Actually, that's real. That's not a cryptid. Never mind.
Yeah. A mermaid?
You gotta put your hand up if you're gonna.
I was second after him. But whatever.
Mermaid is incorrect.
Okay.
There's a specific name for this one. It's not just
Hmm.
a something. It's the something. Zach is incorrect. Alden.
Davy Jones.
No, but it does start with a D. In fact, it's a double name, and they both start with a D.
An alliteration.
Yes. Steven.
The Delaware Devil.
Good Lord, man. I'm going to give it to you because you got a synonym or something related to both of them. The Dover Demon.
Oh, I haven't heard that in a while.
That is unbelievable. Dover,
Yeah.
Delaware, and Devil Demon.
Is Dover
That's
in
incredible.
Delaware?
Yeah.
That's
All
amazing.
right.
Yeah.
The honorary. You had like two that are like so close. You got it kind of today. Right? Didn't you get the baboon chimp
Yeah, I
one or
did.
something?
Yeah.
Yeah, Steven's just like correct adjacent.
Yeah. Judges. Yeah.
They should name it Ben, so then it's the Bendover Demon.
What is the name of the Australian cryptid, often described as a large reptilian creature living in the country's waterways? I've never heard this word before in my life. Alden?
A dugong.
No, Zane.
Crikey.
Incorrect.
That's what you say when you see it.
Sure. Yeah. Steven, you got a guess?
I don't know what it's called, but it's something akin to an unevolved raptor.
Okay. Well, I have no idea, so we're just going to show you the answer because no one's going to get it.
I don't know this.
The bunyip.
I was nowhere close.
I don't
Wait,
know that at all.
So you're saying it's not the crikey dial?
Oh my god.
Is it pronounced bunyip or is it bunyip?
I really wish we had a Fed button for when we're in trivia. So on Zane right now. Okay. Question number 3 of this round. Which cryptid is said to inhabit the Himalayan mountain range? Zane.
The Yeti.
Wow, Zane actually got one.
Mm-hmm.
The Yeti is correct.
Of course I knew the abominable snowman. I grew up watching Rudolph.
Bumbles bounce.
A winged, hoofed creature with a goat-like head is said to inhabit the Pine Barrens of New Jersey. What's it called? Alden, I believe your hand was up first.
Jersey Devil.
The Jersey Devil is correct. This is
I don't know the bunyip, but I know the Jersey Devil.
I love it. I love it. Which primate-like cryptid is said to inhabit the swamps of Florida? Alden.
Swamp ape. Skunk ape. They're both. They've said both, but
Skunk ape is correct.
All right.
All right.
I lived in Florida, and my dad thinks he saw one, so we'll get into that later.
Okay, after 2 rounds, Zane and Alden are tied at 6. Steven has 5. and the audience has 1. So it is literally anybody's game here.
Nice.
I cannot wait to take this stupid mask off. This
Yeah.
is totally not worth $20.
You paid $20 for that?
Yeah, it's inflation, man.
But you bought it with someone else's $20, right?
Biden's $20.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah. Question number 1. What does the Patriot Act stand for? Zane.
The Uniting and Strengthening America for providing the appropriate tools and resources for investigating and obstructing terrorism.
I mean, I have to give it to him. It's close, but not quite there. Tools required to intercept and obstruct terrorism.
Wow.
Uniting and strengthening America by providing appropriate tools required to intercept and obstruct terrorism.
You got to give it to W. He's got strategery with the anagrams.
I mean, it's idiotic. It's idiotic.
I forgot it was even like, what is it? Not anagram, but acronym for anything.
Thank you.
Because that's so much a stretch.
It's idiotic, man. Like,
yeah.
Why would you do that? Like,
it's like SHIELD.
It's already stupid. Why did you make it stupider? Okay, here we go. Defined in the Patriot Act, what is a wiretap authorization that allows law enforcement to intercept communications on any phone line or electronic device used by the target without specifying the device in advance? Who was first? I think it was Zane.
Is this a FISA warrant?
No.
Like, what's it called? Is that your
What
saying?
is the wiretap called?
I don't know.
Steven.
Extrajudicial surveillance.
No, but I like that guess.
Yeah.
Alden, you get a guess, buddy.
I mean, I call it some bullshit, but I don't know what the official name is.
Okay, here's a hint. Sometimes in softball, if you have a 10th person on the field, that 10th person has a specific role where they can go anywhere on the field. They don't actually stay in one spot. Man, that was a tie. I'm going to give it to Alden.
MVP?
Nope, Zane.
A rover?
A roving wiretap.
Oh, dang it. The clue was for something I know even less about. So
I think Zane just sealed the victory with that one. Question number 3. Which is the primary constitutional amendment cited in arguments against the Patriot Act? Zane.
The Force.
Fourth Amendment is correct. And there you have it, y'all. All right. Thanks for playing. Y'all talk amongst yourselves while I take all this crap off.
Oh, that's because he's also
talk about unmasking.
Yeah, there we go. Wow.
So you've got like a green sweater on or something, or that's hilarious. I like this, just the floating head.
I'm keeping the green sweater on though.
Yeah.
The green
That's
shirt.
awesome.
I'm just headless Jake, and now I get to finally take a drink. How about that?
There we go.
All
There's
right.
no mouth hole in the mask?
There's no mouth hole in the dadgum mask.
I mean, it would be messy anyway, but that's still, I mean, how do you breathe?
There's nose holes.
That's not enough.
That's not. They're like that size.
No, that's not okay. I don't think I could have done that as long as you did, to be honest.
Okay.
So there's a show I used to watch. I forget the exact name of the show, but there's it's basically just a bunch of drunk Cajuns, and they walk around the swamp at night looking for Bigfoot. And they have an organization, the GCBRO, the Gulf Coast Bigfoot Research Organization. And you can go online and pay a fee and get your little membership card. And it's totally a flex with the ladies, letting them know that
A card-carrying member, yeah.
I think that the History Channel has 3 different shows like that.
Okay. Well, this was on like Travel Channel 3 when I was watching it.
Goodness gracious.
Travel Channel 8, the Ocho.
There we go.
All right, y'all.
Rebel
Well,
Plus.
this is going to be an episode that Steven and Alden are going to run wild in for the first
No.
topic.
I think Zane should lead us, honestly.
Zane won't have any idea what anybody's talking about. I won't have any idea. I pretty much just know Chupacabra, Sasquatch, and Yeti. That's pretty much it. So, to start this off, Zach, let's pull up just a list of some cryptids. So anybody who doesn't know what cryptids are gets
Bunny up on there or whatever that was.
I don't know.
I've never heard of that one. I thought I knew about cryptids. Apparently not. List
of cryptids. Man, is there one for every letter? Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Look at all these. All right. I don't recognize. I recognize aliens in the days.
I know peacocks.
Peacock.
Yeah, hey, Australian raptor. Check that out. That's what I was talking about earlier.
The African peacock just looks like a normal old bird.
I think the argument for some of these are just basically a bird that was thought to be extinct that has been sighted, similar to like a species of primate or whatever.
Oh, animals. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Think they might still exist as relict populations. Interesting.
Yeah. So it's like the Loch Ness Monster, which is really just a Leopleurodon.
Go back down to that Ahool thing. That Ahool thing looks like the most terrifying thing I've ever seen. It looks like a bat monkey.
It looks like a flying monkey out of the Wizard of Oz.
Okay, yes. Let's just scroll through the pictures. No, that was great. Let's do that, Zach. Yes, let's just scroll through the pictures. Oh my gosh. That is terrifying.
I would poop.
Okay.
That looks like a Magic the Gathering card or something.
It kind of does, honestly. Yeah.
All right. I have a what if question for you.
Go.
Would you imagine that you could end the Fed right now, but 200 of those things get released into the United States? Would you do it?
Yes.
Definitely.
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Without
I didn't even waver on that one.
More people die from the Federal Reserve than they do from those things. Guaranteed.
I would rather get rid of the Fed, but have Pacific Rim be our reality right now. Like, that's fine by me.
Dude, I would love for Pacific Rim to be our reality. I want to fight in a freaking robot. Come on.
Heck yeah, man. Give me a Jaeger.
That movie was unbelievable.
Yeah.
The follow
honestly, pretty good as far as like an action.
Ooh, Bat Squatch. Yeah.
No way is that an actual cryptid.
I'm
is that what
with
this
that
is called?
One. Oh, yeah.
It's called a bat squatch.
That's right.
Cryptid, more like a riptid, am I
also
right?
the name of a good beer made by Rogue.
Okay.
Out of Colorado.
Let's just get Zane out of here. Just making too many.
Zane's cracking me up, man. That's too funny.
Okay, what's next, Zach? Ossopero. That just looks normal. Go to the next one.
That's just like presumed extinct or whatever.
Nope, that's not real. Nope. Move on.
Oh, it's one of those like Earth turtles.
There we go. There's Bigfoot. Oh, apparently it's Bigfoot 2. It's not even original Bigfoot.
Okay.
Bigfoot 2, Return of the Bigfoot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bigfoot 2 released.
He's back. He's black, and he wants your beef jerky.
All right, what's next? What's next, Zach? Go to the next picture. Fly, snake, fly. No. Go to the next.
I don't know what that is, but it looks like just an anaconda.
Kasai Rex. No, that just looks like a Komodo dragon. That just looks like a friggin' dinosaur. What? That's a
man. There we go.
That is a human falling from a great height.
That's actually Richard Gere on Saturday Night.
What? What?
He was in the Mothman movie.
Yeah, Mothman probably.
No, that's one of the jumpers on 9/11.
Oh, good
Zane.
Lord. Zane, this is supposed to be a much lighter episode. Give me a break, man. All right, go to the next one. That's not a Mothman. I'm just going to say that right now. Nope. Go to the next one.
That's it. That's what I saw.
Can those please exist?
Police sketch artist made this. Like, no.
Dude, that is one of the best ones I've ever seen.
I want one of these images to be the leprechaun police sketch.
Describe the man who touched you.
The like Alabama leprechaun or whatever.
Okay. This is enough of looking at these things. Let's okay, Alden, Steven, somebody start us out with Alden, tell us the story about your dad.
Okay, so he's got a couple, but the one that's the most obvious was he and my mom were driving to meet my uncle to go bowling.
Okay.
I was 2. I was left with my grandmother. I was not there. And they were driving. This is in Florida, between like, I don't know, Sanford and Orlando in the middle of nowhere. And they see something standing in like the middle of the road, like yellow line middle of the road. And it's facing their lane. And it's like 7 or 8 feet tall. It is hairy. It has blue eyes. And it looks right at them. And they didn't say anything for like half a mile. And then they were like, did you fucking see that? And the other person, my mom, was like, yeah, I fucking saw it. You know, like they talked about it for a while. And then they went bowling and went on with their life. I don't know. Like, it was a weird thing.
Harry and had blue eyes. Jake, was that you?
It was headless Jake.
That, like, would you not go back and confirm?
I think I would.
Dude.
Because I've had my own kind of weird thing like that. The Florida man sighting.
Grumpy, that's so good.
Oh, man.
I think I'd have to go back and confirm. Like, I would just get all my weapons out from the car and just go back, confirm that
if
it's
it
real,
was
picture.
A Sasquatch or like a skunk ape kind of thing, I think I would. If it was like a dog man, fuck no, dude. I would not turn around for a dog man. Hell no.
A dog man.
I'm not doing that. Yeah.
Well, and I've had friends tell me some stories of something up around North Georgia called a coochie willy.
No, it's not.
No,
not called
we're not allowed to say that on this show.
It's not a family-friendly show, so.
Yeah.
Okay, we can talk about coochie willies then, I guess.
It was like a wildcat, and it stood up, walked on its hind legs. It was like 6 feet tall, had thumbs.
Opposable thumbs.
It was just like a large cat.
I've heard of the cat humanoid type thing or whatever. I've never heard of Coochie Willy or whatever.
That's probably just drunk redneck.
Is that a Georgia thing or a native like American thing? Like, because I can't tell sometimes with that.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, it's like Chief Coochie.
Yeah, right. Or just some like Georgia thing, like I heard a Coochie Willy, and you're like, I don't know, man, I can't tell.
What about a Willy Coochie?
Let's see. So they didn't go back. They never saw it again.
No, but my dad had another story when he was a kid in a similar area, Tassahatchee, Florida, and also middle of nowhere. And he was camping again with my uncle, his brother. And he woke up and went on like a hike or whatever early, and my uncle never wakes up early. And so he hears someone following him. Like when he takes steps, it steps, and then when he stops, it stops, and all that kind of thing in the woods next to him. And he thinks it's his brother messing with him. But it gets kind of creepy when it like doesn't stop for a long time. He's like, okay, come out now, you know, that whole thing. And like, there's nothing. So he gets freaked out and he runs. And so this is on an easement where there's like a power line easement that goes over the St. John's at some point, I think.
Yeah.
And he runs to the clearing and he hears, when he starts running, whatever's behind him, full bore charges crashing through the woods next to him. And it sounds very large. He busts out into the clearing and he turns around and he sees like a shadowy figure pacing back and forth. It's again very tall. And he goes around the long way back to the main trail to go back to the campsites or whatever. And my uncle, his brother, still is just now kind of waking up and getting ready in the campsite or whatever. And he told him about what was going on. He's like, that wasn't you? And he was like, hell no, it wasn't me, you know. And so that was another whole time where you don't know, you know, that one, they didn't see anything. You don't know. Could have just been a homeless man, you know, like I have no idea. But
so does he think it was the same animal as what he saw years later with your mom?
He's said that since he's seen something else, he's put that together that it could be, but you can't know, you know what I mean? Like, and I even wonder if it was a dog man instead of like a skunk ape kind of a thing. Because he's been fishing at that same spot before, and one time he was there and he saw a carcass of a pig ripped in half, and like the one top half was thrown over there, and then the bottom half was thrown. Like we're talking way away. Yeah.
Okay. Zane,
we're going to have you be the voice of reason throughout this.
The
whole
moderator,
conversation.
yeah.
So, what do you think that most likely was?
I
It was
haven't
Hillary
heard
Clinton.
anything I disagree with so far.
Yeah, no objection from Zane yet.
I mean, if we have to have a bit of big brain time, I mean, eyewitness testimony in courts of law are notoriously poor quality. Like people,
Sure.
especially when they're under duress, just claim to see things that weren't actually there. And I mean, to them,
Yeah.
I'm sure that they think that they saw X, Y, or Z, but the brain can play tricks on you, and you can see things that aren't there. You can see things that are different from what's actually there.
Yeah. Especially when you're doing shrooms.
Yeah, I forgot to mention he was tripping. Yeah.
I mean, sensory perception is somewhat unreliable.
Fair
Mhm.
enough.
That's fair.
Zach asked Alden, did an energy accompany it?
There was an aura. Yes. No, I'm kidding.
No. Yes, no?
No, he didn't mention anything woo about it or whatever.
Okay.
Not that they can't accompany things like this or whatever.
Yeah. Well, let's see, Zach, let's see what the most common cryptids are in each state. Let's see what that is.
Technically, that would be anything because all of them are zero frequency.
Shut your mouth, Zane. Okay, so in the Northwest, it's Bigfoot, obviously.
Right.
Out in California, what? It's the Loch Ness Monster?
Wait a minute, this is the most popular cryptid in every U.S. state based on Google search trends.
Okay.
Which just means that all those people are searching a lot about the Loch Ness Monster for some reason.
What are Californians doing? Why aren't they searching the chupacabra? That makes no sense. The Thunderbird is in Arizona. What is a Thunderbird? Anybody know what that is?
Yeah, that's
it's a type of car, right?
Well, it is now. And every motel out there on a dusty road or whatever, but but it's part of Native American lore. Actually, multiple different tribes in different parts of the country have like a similar lore about the Thunderbird.
It's like a phoenix, right?
Kind of, I guess. Like it's got similar. Sometimes it accompanies storms and it has different omens or whatever. And,
okay.
But
I don't know about you, but I've never seen a Ford in real life.
Texas, Texas, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, and Mississippi all search for the chupacabra, and Nevada. Are there chupacabra sightings in all those places? I thought that was like a California thing.
Chupacabra is like Mexico, and so I would think anywhere in the Southwest could be.
Somebody tell me what a Wendigo is.
That's the weird, like, deer antler head, like, skinwalker type thing.
Yeah.
No.
In more of the Great Lakes area, I think.
Nope. Okay. So I have a question for Stephen and Alden.
Okay, yeah.
How much skepticism do you have versus how much do you think there's actually one of these animals out there in the world?
Stephen, you want to go first on that?
Well, I certainly think it's highly possible. And I mean, for the Thunderbird thing, for the Native American lore, I mean, yes, you get into some of these historical archetypes, and they didn't have a way of explaining certain things about putting this little mythical touch to it. So yes, they do tend to embellish because they often didn't have technology or words to describe what they thought they were seeing. So, given that, and then you can flash forward into kind of the modern era. We've got the Plum Island Research Facility just off the coast of New York. And there's some weird stuff that always washes up on the shore. So, I mean, at least since the 1900s, the Soviets experimented with all kind of stuff, like, hey, let's take a monkey's head and sew it on a goat and see if it can live.
Some human centipede shit, man.
Exactly. Because I think the Soviets did get a monkey's head to survive for like a couple of days without a body.
Wow.
So, given these, there we go. Plum Island Research Facility. Yeah, that's where they test drugs and, random other scientific chemicals on animals and things. They do all kind of weird, crazy experiments, and that's where they actually think they see mermaids up around New England, near Plum Island. And
that's why I said mermaids for the New England question or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, so some of this stuff, like, is it millennia old folklore? Yes, but some of this modern stuff that we just don't have the comprehension or words to describe it. It's because you've got these crazy, twisted scientists that have been running carte blanche for 100 years now.
Interesting.
There's a lot of like contemporary stories about things like this, though, that are happening too. That people run into weird shit on their ranch and stuff, and they know the difference between a deer and a bear and a fox and a coyote and whatever, and then they're like, "Nah, I wasn't one of those." Like,
found the right website. Conspiracy theories. We're on the correct site.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Interesting. So, what is it about this? Do you know the history of this island, or do we have to read this whole daggum thing?
Well, I know one of the scientists that was running the show in the late 40s, early 50s was a Nazi scientist named Erich Traub. His stated purpose was to create a tick-borne syphilis to defend the homeland, which at the time was Germany.
I legit thought you said a tit-borne.
Yeah, tick. Yeah. So, anyways, not long after he took his post at the helm at Plum Island, we had the advent of Lyme disease that came out of Lyme, Connecticut, which is just like 20 miles away from that research facility.
It's a terrible disease.
I heard that.
But it was his stated purpose was to have a tick-borne syphilis. So, that's not conspiracy.
No.
Do the dots connect? Most likely.
Have you guys heard about this with the original Coca-Cola recipe that it was
gain of function cryptid edition? What were you saying, Zach or Alden?
Just that the guy that made the Coca-Cola recipe originally, I think he thought in his mind it was going to cure syphilis.
Yeah, John Pemberton.
Yeah.
He thought Coca-Cola would cure syphilis?
Yeah. Yeah.
If only, man.
I think that's
cocaine was the cure for everything. You got ghosts in your blood.
See,
smoke some cocaine.
Yeah. You go back a few hundred years, it was bloodletting, and then a few hundred years later, it's cocaine.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's a lot of the modern stuff. Some of these hybrids. There's a very real possibility that these are scientific experiments. And if you take, some kind of hybrid Frankenstein screwed up thing, and just release it into the wild, or it gets free or whatever, can that procreate? And what does that look like?
There's a some contingency, though.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Well, we've got the fifth member of the show just popped in. Boom.
Hello, Nick.
Hey, there he is.
What's
up, guys?
What is up? What were you going to say, Zane?
Yeah, so I guess in order to not be a complete buzzkill, I do have one kind word to say about cryptozoologists, which, on that website was the list of cryptids that we were looking at. It said that cryptozoology is a pseudoscience, which, whenever I hear the word pseudoscience, my ears perk up, because it's essentially an insult that people level at people looking into things that they don't like.
Yeah.
And so, anything that uses the scientific method to investigate something, you form hypotheses and then you collect data and then you either falsify or confirm the hypothesis. That is science by definition, regardless of what you're looking at. And that website even admitted that some of the cryptids on the list were
people who have papers
because they had actually discovered some of the cryptids that they thought that most people thought didn't exist. So it's like if you actually have discovered cryptids before, then I guess we can't completely rule out that there aren't any. I would still say it's highly unlikely that there is really a Bigfoot out there anymore. But if you're using the scientific method to look into it, even if you never find one, obviously people that are using bad evidence or creating hoaxes, that's obviously pseudoscience. But if cryptozoologists are pseudoscientists, then Dr. Fauci and that whole gang are pseudoscientists too.
That is the most based thing Zane is going to say during this entire conversation.
There you go. Neil deGrasse Tyson is a pseudoscientist, right?
Honestly.
Oh no, he legit. I mean, he's worse than a pseudoscientist.
He just
What'd you say, Nick?
Oop,
All right.
I said he just likes consensus.
He does. He loves consensus.
Yeah,
That's his favorite thing.
Yeah, what cryptids we talking about?
What's that?
What
we're in
cryptids we on? Any?
the general
particular
sense
one?
right now.
Right.
Yeah, just any and everything. Have you had a personal sighting? Do you know someone that had a personal sighting? Do you think they're real? What's your take?
Is Nick on a lag?
I can't remember ever actually having a personal sighting of anything. I don't know. Seems like Bigfoot and Dogman might be a thing.
Dogman. I'd never heard of Dogman before tonight. I've literally never looked into any of this. I did no.
You've
prep.
never heard of the Michigan Dogman or whatever?
No.
Or
I
what
did
are the
zero prep for
Skinwalker?
this show. None.
Oh, there's some.
And
You
it
gotta, like,
shows.
You got to be like weird like me and listen to like, because I don't know if I've been listening to the Confessionals, which is a paranormal podcast recently.
Yeah, I like that show. Actually.
And,
Yeah.
man, there's
That's
some
based in
fucking
Tennessee.
insane stories
Yeah.
of like
Alright.
yeah, he's up in near Knoxville. But Land Between the Lakes park up there, he has some crazy Dogman stories that he's told
Is that
about
Kentucky?
that he's had someone that involved people like dying from it, from the guy who witnessed it. He met it. It's right on the border of Tennessee and Kentucky. Like the border goes right through the park. And
Goodness.
Yeah, I know about those
it was
stories.
a crazy story of like I think it was like a sheriff's deputy who was out there hunting, and they were coming in for the day, met a guy, on the way back into their camp, got chased out by Dogman in the middle of the night with big feet there. The dude they met on the trail ended up dead. Like,
Is that the one too where
there's some wild fucking stories?
Wow.
Oh yeah, well, and talking about podcasts about this stuff, man. I'm gonna throw way back here. Shout out to Art Bell, shout out to George Norrie, Coast to Coast AM.
Yeah, man.
One of the best radio shows ever.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, they run the gamut. I mean, they do tend to stay in the paranormal lane with things. But I mean,
he's like conspiracy OG, man.
Right.
That guy's awesome.
And they do politics too. George Norrie actually flirted for running for president. He flirted around with the idea of it back in 2012, I think.
Interesting.
I can't think of anything that would be more off the rails than an AM radio show about cryptids.
It's good stuff, man. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they did something right, because when Art Bell was still running the thing, they kidnapped his daughter. He was hitting on something.
What?
Because he was covering just all kind of conspiracies, and they kidnapped his daughter and said stop doing the radio show, and he went and rescued her, and that's when George Norrie stepped in, because he just kind of left his post.
Do you know about that? The caller that called into Art Bell's show, and then all of AM radio for the West Coast got knocked off the air, basically, when that guy called after like 30 seconds. There's a Tool song where they have a snippet of his call like in one of the songs, and that's how I found it as a kid. But yeah, all of AM radio for like the West Coast was knocked out, and they were like, that's literally never happened to us before, basically, to get this like weird panicky guy off that was talking about working in military bases with interdimensional beings and weird shit or whatever. It was
wow.
fun.
Was it I don't want to say the wrong name.
I don't remember
his name now.
Zach,
But
let's watch some videos, man. Let's just see some of these.
I don't know my own name.
There's a whole playlist that I found earlier. It's just a bunch of random videos of stuff. Let's see. Which one's this one?
Oh yeah.
That was
There we
classic, yeah.
Yeah, that's a classic one. I have seen that one before. What the frick are those things? What is that?
That's like an old, like a giant anteater, that's a giant anteater.
A gorilla sloth hybrid? Wow.
Wow.
I mean, if you just told me that was real, I would believe it.
Right. Slothrilla in the house.
I mean, it kind of looked real.
There you go.
All right, what's the next one? What's the 5 mysterious cryptid videos you've never seen? Let's go to that.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, you can skip around and find the spots where we see the videos.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sir Spooks, and today we'll take a look at 5.
He's Sir Spooks, y'all.
Yeah, it's official.
On stories of encounters.
You would think.
I have never seen a horse before. That's right. Yeah.
I believe that some of these
You would think that, like, as cameras got way better, you'd start seeing more of these things.
That's the one, especially in the modern era. It's you get these videos that are uploaded that go viral, and it looks like they recorded it with a potato.
Yeah.
And it's just.
I need an
looks
HD 4K like full-on image of it. Not
It either looks.
You know,
like,
Jake, the fact that one of those doesn't exist is perhaps evidence that none of these are real.
Do you guys know about the? So there's a lot of people that say that they try to record something and then all of their gear malfunctions all the time or whatever.
What
It's a
the-
lot of people that say.
That's just a wolf, right? That's just a wolf. That's a
Yeah,
wolf
that's a dire
playing.
wolf.
It's a wolf playing with
A
a
dire wolf.
Yeah.
That's just a wolf. Give me a break.
Yeah. John Stark is hunting around the corner.
It's just a daggum wolf. Whoa.
It's an ostrich.
That well, I've seen those. Is that emu or an ostrich? It basically just looks like a cross between the two. Who cares
mean,
about
Was
that
that one
one?
of those giant birds from New Zealand that went extinct?
Which one was that?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, like a cassowary, is that what it's called?
Interesting.
Except these things were massive, and they only died out a couple hundred years ago.
What?
But they were these giant birds, like absolutely fucking massive compared to even ostriches.
Were they flightless?
I
Yeah,
think so.
yeah, we're not talking about.
Okay.
They were very ostrich-like, but
Interesting.
giant.
Go to the next
New
one, Zach. This one's dumb.
Zealand.
I don't care about
No
this
wonder
bird.
nobody's seen these videos before because they all suck.
Oh, God.
That's
The
literally just a
the
mountain
moa.
lion.
That's what it is. Yeah, they were like 10 feet tall,
Interesting.
12 feet tall. The moa.
Wow. Okay.
Mountain lions aren't black. Ever.
Panthers are. And so are
See, and if cryptids, extend into.
What was that thing?
Oh my gosh.
That
awesome.
is a cracked out human who hasn't eaten in about 8 weeks. That was so dumb. People have got to have better videos of this stuff, man. This is the kind of crap that drives me insane. This is why I've never believed in it. Like,
Yeah.
just show me some decent footage where I can say that isn't a dog or that isn't a mountain lion. Like, just
Well,
something.
what about the Patterson film though of Bigfoot, the Patterson Gimlin film?
I don't know
Yeah.
what
I
that
mean,
one
that's
is.
about
Mountain
as
monster. Is
clear
that the
as
Duck
I've ever
Dynasty
seen.
crew?
Nick, I literally said I did no research, and it might as well be the Duck Dynasty.
Patterson
Well, it's
Gimlin
like
is
the absolute most
it's a
famous video.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We already
Tell
played a clip
Zach
of
to
it.
put up the Patterson Gimlin film, I guess. It's like the absolute most famous Bigfoot.
That's just a boar. They're just showing a boar right there.
Oh,
just
that's a hellhound.
No, that's just a boar. It's just a pig. It's just a big old fat pig with some husks. Yeah, that's just a human in a suit.
That
Most
is not
likely.
built like anything like a human.
It's a human in a suit. It's a human in a suit. Screw this.
It's not
No.
built anything like a human in a suit.
This looks so much like a human.
Dude, that is such a human in a suit. It's so dumb. He's just walking and looking. No.
Yeah, it probably. Honestly, it's
No.
probably is.
No. Yeah, I thought Zane was going to be the person who ran on the parade. I'm going to be the one who destroys this entire episode. No one's going to want to watch this. Oh my gosh. Okay.
You should listen to podcasts where people tell their stories and stuff, and because like most of the time when it comes to like.
Well, that was
What
an
the hell?
interesting one.
Yeah, there was
All right.
one episode of of the confessionals where they got a guy in Southern Ohio, which I know doesn't exist, which makes, I guess, the whole Bigfoot claim all the more real. But yeah, he claimed he shot one in the face with his shotgun and killed it.
There's been a few people that have claimed to have
here in
killed.
Georgia, there was that cop from Clayton County that said he caught Bigfoot, but it was really just a dead bear. He stuffed with roadkill and sold to some college university in Louisiana.
The only ones that I would be inclined to believe that said that they shot or killed something are the ones that say, and then a black SWAT van showed up and they took it away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not the ones that
Right.
have Instagram photos.
And then the
with it or
Smithsonian
whatever.
came and put the
Yeah.
whole thing in
Yeah.
prison.
Well,
I
let's
will
not
say-
get into those guys and giants, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
no, part of that story was that there's basically kind of two different kinds of big feet. The black ones are generally,
Is
you
it
know,
Big Feet or Bigfoots?
less- I don't know, but the black ones generally leave you alone while the red ones get super aggressive, which is a common story.
Yeah,
That literally sounds like you're describing black bears and grizzly bears.
that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So I will say I'm far, far more inclined to believe in a cryptid if it is in the ocean. Because
Because
the
more of it's
ocean-
unexplored. Or...
Yes, because there are tons of wild animals down near the bottom. You know, like,
Yeah.
there's so many animals that we haven't discovered down there that I'm more inclined to believe in the Loch Ness monster than I am any
Right.
other kind of cryptid.
Right.
I don't
because
really
the Loch Ness
have-
monster is just a Leopleurodon. It's just, the ice caps melted. It was probably frozen. It somehow escaped. It survived. It had some
Frick is
babies.
a Leopleurodon.
It's a dinosaur.
It's a dinosaur.
Yeah,
It was
but
the Loch Ness
Loch Ness
monster
is not that big.
that needs to be explained is that either there is one Loch Ness monster that's somehow immortal, or there's an entire species of Loch Ness monsters, and nobody has ever seen any of them, despite multiple people looking for them for decades.
Like again with like the
And Loch
photos
Ness
of
is
those-
not that large to support a breeding population of something
No.
that big.
Yeah,
It's not like we're talking big feet in like giant mountainous regions.
turtle. There are turtles that live to be like hundreds of years old, right? And trees.
over 100 at
Well, and
least,
you got
yeah.
that one. There's that one shark in Iceland that's like 800 or something crazy.
You mean that
Oh.
giant one that they caught on the satellite footage?
The Greenland shark?
The megalodon?
No, not the megalodon. No, this is an actual like great white that's still alive, that has like 3 teeth left in its head. It's old as Methuselah. It's just
Wow. Well, the
Yeah.
megalodon is still alive. It's I think.
What? No.
Dude,
No, that's
did you
been
not see
dead.
the satellite footage? That
Did
they
you not see the movie?
what
Did
movie?
you not see the Meg too?
Meg.
Yeah.
yeah. Jason Statham kicked its ass twice.
I just watched something on this where they
Yeah, that's why there's
compared
none left.
they
Yeah.
compared the size of it to multiple school buses.
The
And they got-
Megalodon is the only cryptid that is visible from space.
There we go. Well, they zoomed in with their satellites.
What?
I don't know about this.
The frick is this thing?
That's
That's a person in a sheet.
Yeah, it probably is. This is like
Yeah,
the
it was
Fresno
neat.
thing or some shit. But
Yeah, the Fresno Nightcrawler.
yeah.
These people make me sad.
More like the Fresno clan member.
Oh man. Well, that's just a person in a sheet.
There's a common thread that interests me among like people that report like a dog man on their ranch and whether it's Michigan or Texas or whatever the hell, right? There's a lot of these stories.
Yeah, I've seen some compelling like trail cam photos. We're talking about like show me something high resolution.
It's funny that you say the trail cam. So I was just going to say that the common thread is that someone like the sheriff will come to their door, that he'll get like, the scoop. A lot of the time when the people are telling the sheriff looks kind of spooked, like he actually isn't just like, yeah, whatever. He actually looks like he knows what's going on. He brings back the next day a team full of people in a black SWAT car. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? And then the one that I was listening to not that long ago was saying that he went to go check his trail cams on the property, and the SWAT team, well, I'm saying SWAT, they're not SWAT, it's an unmarked car, right? went and pulled all the SD cards out of all of his trail cams on his property or whatever. And there's multiple people that say similar things like that. The response to it is similar across the board in a lot of places. Like,
Okay.
you know, according to a lot of people that's at least say that. I know it's anecdotal or hearsay or whatever, but
Right. You know, now you do have some pranksters. There was one guy somewhere on one of the beaches in Florida that for years he had like these massive foot molds, and he would
I
get
know
out
of this. Yeah.
between midnight and 4 a.m. and go stomp the beach and with these foot molds.
Yeah.
And
I know
everybody
of
in the
this.
town for like 30 years were like, "That Bigfoot walks the beach at
We
night."
covered that on this show, I think, one time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And he was just like, "Yeah, I'm just playing jokes on you guys."
Yeah. No, there's a lot.
Yeah, he waited like 30 years to do it. It's
Yeah.
hilarious.
You think someone would have figured that out if that was happening consistently by then?
Right.
I think a
eventually see
lot
the
of
guy
these-
somehow.
Like
but-
some drunk idiot out there on the beach at night just laying around and sees the guy walking by and goes, "Oh, well, I
Oh,
figured that
look,
one
there's
out."
Bigfoot.
Yeah. Well, and there's tons of guys that have proven that they make crop circles. It's possible to make them. And that's one of the things with the crop circles. There was, well, how does it lay down in perfect geometry like that? And they're like, well, it's interesting. You get 3 people with a 2x4, and you can do awesome things with corn.
I think there's a lot that are hoaxes. I really, though, just because some are, or even if a lot are hoaxes, I don't think that it means that all are hoaxes because you can prove that some are.
Well, of
hoaxes,
course.
yeah.
We're just, while we're on the skeptic train
But
here,
no,
just
it's
kind of
totally-
saying how
Yeah.
a lot of this is debunked. But
Yeah.
also if cryptids or if it extends into extinct species, so we know scientists have woolly mammoth meat. There's frozen in the ice caps in Antarctica. They're trying to clone a saber-toothed tiger they pulled out of Siberia a few years ago.
Don't do that.
Right.
Yeah,
They're
no,
like,
no need to do that.
let's clone the mammoth. Let's clone the saber-toothed tiger.
They are cloning the mammoth. Like that's
Yeah.
the thing. They're trying to get like 100 of them within the next 30 years.
You still get
Right.
They're trying
reports
to-
of Tasmanian tigers.
Mm. That's believable though, because that was real.
Well, and I bet all of this stuff would be great, with a little bit of butter, a little bit of salt, some cumin, maybe some red pepper, just grill it to mid-well.
Applewood, low and slow.
That's
All
right.
So this is what I was referring to when I was talking about the megalodon.
During the initial investigation, the agent who was studying the swarm noticed something out in
Was
the
this
water.
one of those fake documentaries like the mermaid
Enhanced.
thing?
Spec.
Zoom
Yeah, well,
in
yeah,
hand.
this resolution is a spec.
Enhanced.
When they zoomed in, though, they got this. It's a little
Oh, that's
fuzzy,
so
but I'd
fake.
say that's a shark. And not just any shark. If you look at this other satellite photo I
mean,
brought, it was
it's on the
taken at the
Discovery
same
Channel.
resolution of a school bus yard in nearby Sao Paulo. Now, those are 40-foot buses. And when you compare them next to the first photo, I'd say that's a 70-foot shark. All right, let's ask the obvious first
Is that the
question here.
same
Do you
scale
really
photo?
think that this is the same animal that was spotted 2 months earlier on the other side
That's
of
one of the
ocean at
fake
Cape Verde?
documentaries, like when
Well,
they did the
that's a
fake
3,000-mile trip.
mermaid
And,
one.
It sounds
This
Oh, this is part of Shark Week.
it looks like it. Shark Week.
Zero credibility.
Because I remember when they did whatever,
How do you dismiss this, but you don't dismiss half the other crap that you watch and read? That is crazy.
I just remember when what was it, Animal Planet at the time did the mermaid documentary, and I turned on in the middle of it, and I'm like, no, this can't be real. And they're showing videos of mermaids and stuff like on the beach, and I'm like,
That's 'cause
no,
mermaids
what
aren't
the
real.
hell's going on?
But
I
a
know.
A megalodon could absolutely be real.
See, but that's why it's such a crime that we use Doppler radar, because that killed all the mermaids.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
They couldn't communicate anymore because they put out sound frequencies from their hands.
Oh my goodness.
I think
But
it's
if
much
we-
more
if
likely
we didn't have
that
that
there was a
sonar, we wouldn't-
megalodon-shaped cloud than there was actually a megalodon.
If we didn't have all the sonar systems in the ocean, how would we have known that the Titan submarine didn't explode on the first day and spend 3 days trying to act like there was something there?
It's a great question.
Right.
Great question.
Which, by the way, that's why HARP was created. The High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. The radio, the antenna of the array of radio antennas in Gacona, Alaska.
Yeah.
It was originally created so we could have intercontinental deep sea communication. because it was powerful enough to bounce the radio waves off the ionosphere to get into the deep waters. But then they just found out that, like, hey, if we really fire this thing up, we can create a thunderstorm. How cool is that?
You can make a Thunderbird.
Yeah. Hey, Beavis, check this out.
Goodness gracious. Okay, Alden, you got any more stories? Any thoughts? What's one that you actually think exists and believe is out there?
I legitimately think that it's possible that things like the Sasquatch and Dogman and some of the more main things could exist. And I would make a couple of cases for it in like a kind of a lightning bullet point kind of a thing. One is that there is stories of whether it's called Sasquatch or skunk ape or Yeti or whatever, all around the world, like almost every continent going back hundreds and thousands of years.
Okay.
And that's interesting that there's like where we're not supposed to have, communication with each other in these different parts of the world or whatever, and we all have some kind of stories about it or whatever. I've also listened to, probably thousands of accounts from different people on both of these. And just my bullshit meter doesn't go off for most of them.
Grumpy Gnome says Chupacabra is real.
I don't know. Who knows? Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know as much about the Chupacabra.
Isn't Chupacabra just like a coyote with mange?
That's generally kind of what it's been portrayed as.
That's often how it's dressed down. Yes.
Dressed down.
That's how it's undressed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me, what do y'all know about Dogman? Because I literally know nothing. Why Dogman?
So either Dogman is either friends with Bigfoot or complete enemies of Bigfoot.
They're friends with benefits.
So like that's where we're going to start.
That I do not want to have in my head.
Yeah. No.
But there have been some wild Dogman stories, and like it's kind of what you think. It's like what was it? I keep going back to the confessionals because this is where I've seen some crazy ones. And he actually they actually did a documentary that came out late last year, early this year, hunting for the Dogman up in the Daniel Boone National Forest, because they had an absolutely insane story from someone that was on the show once about it, where where like he's out in the woods hunting and his dogs get attacked, and like it was absolutely crazy. So there's like some more and more, like it was never really a cryptid that you had heard that much of, but then like more and more it seems to be one that seems to be coming to the surface lately.
Yeah, there's compelling, honestly, just anecdotal evidence for it.
And I've heard weird stories, everything of like one walking up to your door and knocking on it and being right there, to like just these in the woods encounters. Just
yeah, some have that like prankster energy, like where they'll be like tapping on the window and shit and like driving people kind of crazy, and they almost feel like they target them and like drive them nuts kind of thing and torment them, and it's almost like they get like a.
If there's one that
story once about a dog man trying to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer.
There you go. So I wonder, is this the basis for the insult dog-faced pony soldier?
I don't think there's any basis for that.
Okay.
But I mean,
the
start of it. But yeah,
Nick,
there's been some absolutely.
Nick, you missed my entire intro with me as Ichabod Crane. I'm sorry.
Ichabod Crane?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, had the old Joe Biden mask on.
Yeah. See, the crazy thing is you don't even have to wear that to rob the bank. They just give you money.
Oh, man. Okay, so Dogman is something that y'all think might exist.
It might not be flesh and blood. Like I'm open to more and more of these ideas that we're talking about, extra dimensional entities here.
Give me some.
Wait, can somebody explain to me the phrase extra dimensional? Because I feel like it gets thrown around a lot, and I don't think anybody really knows what it means.
They come through portals, Zane. They come through portals.
Yeah, so the whole thing with extraterrestrials, are they from some faraway galaxy? No, they're probably from Earth on a different timeline, and they just know how to jump.
Yeah,
or they're on a higher vibrational plane,
or
they
there's
exist in the same place as we do,
or like
because we're locked into space time.
Yeah,
they're in this other dimension.
Or it's in between that certain area and allows the crossover or just partial crossover where you get kind of these like
on their planet, they're just smoking DMT and they just end up here and they're like, whoa, what? Where are we?
We're the machine elves.
The funny thing is that the way that you phrase that, I could make a case using like string theory or something that's actually possible.
Yes,
right,
absolutely,
it's possible.
It's true. What is it's Halloween, right? The Samhain, where it's the thinnest between the worlds kind of deal.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, the veil between the physical and spiritual realm is the thinnest.
Yeah. So do people? Are there more?
I think sightings? I read.
Are there more sightings during Halloween?
Sorry, what?
Are there more sightings during the Halloween time period than there are during the rest of the year?
Well, yes, but how much of that has to do with just the time of year, with the sun going down earlier and it being darker longer?
But the sun goes down way longer in December and January.
Well, sure, but sightings start to increase around this area, and they're probably highest now because the weather is actually tolerable in most of the planet during this time of year.
Zach says extraterrestrial equals doesn't originate from Earth. Extra dimensional doesn't originate from this dimension.
Boom.
Very basic.
I think I heard. I was in high school. Me and some friends for an assignment all read a book called String Theory for Dummies. And I think it said in there that some scientists believe that there could be a fourth dimension, and if it was smaller than 1 millimeter long, we might just not notice that it was there.
Well, and then you got Soviet scientists like Dr. Peter Gurayev, where he did an experiment where he took a cannonball and just dropped it on a concrete floor.
Okay.
And Newtonian physics says mass is neither created nor destroyed. But he weighed the cannonball before he dropped it.
Energy is not
dropped it. It lost 12 grams. He waited 15 minutes. The 12 grams came back. Don't quote me on the 12 grams part, but like the weight did fluctuate significantly to where it was not just instrumentation margin of error.
Interesting.
There are physical explanations that I could come up with for that. Not saying that any of them would be right because I'm not familiar with the experiment. But
so, what's the one where when you die,
that's what I was
suddenly lighter?
How many grams is it? That's like the
23
difference.
Grams or something.
Yeah. The average.
Yeah, and that's also like DMT leaving your body too. Yeah, because that's so the Vatican says that the soul enters the fetus at I forget exactly which week of pregnancy it is, but that's when the soul enters the fetus, and so that's how they kind of justify.
If you ask,
not condoning abortion up to a certain time,
right?
But they just said it's not really a cardinal sin yet because it doesn't have a soul yet. I think it's 21 days.
If you ask,
because that's when you'll actually pee positive because you expel DMT in your urine. Yeah, that's why they call it the spirit molecule.
A Republican will tell you the soul enters while you're having sex, and a liberal is when you name the baby. You know what I mean? Like, somewhere between there.
No, the liberal says when it turns 5.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
When it wants to change its gender.
Yeah, we can't forget about the post-birth abortion thing.
Yes, that's right.
What's his name said.
All right, who's got more stuff to say about cryptids, or no? Somebody tell me an interesting one that I don't know about. One in the ocean or in the sea.
In the ocean.
What about the dive crew? There's a story of like it's Navy SEALs or some kind of dive crew that like they thought they were on the ocean floor and then it started to move and they're on some weird craft under the water or whatever. This gets into more like UFO type stuff, but
yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, but anyway, they went down. They were doing something. I wish I could remember now. I didn't prep for this particular thing, but they thought they were on like the ocean floor or whatever, and then the whole thing started to like turn, and then they like pooped themselves, and it was not the ocean floor kind of thing or whatever. And it was like an official team of some kind doing some job for the military or something like that. But
Interesting.
This reminds me of the time that I was in a spaceship with some other people and landed in a deep cavern on a planet, but it turned out to be the inside of a snake.
Giant space worm.
Alden,
Yeah,
he's just
that was not a
describing
microdose.
Star Wars. Okay.
I was trying to place
It's
what it
taking you a
was.
long time
Yeah.
to catch up, but I had to describe it.
Inhabited small streams and abandoned rice fields near the River.
All right, what is this thing? Altamaha depiction.
I don't know.
Anybody?
Georgia
name,
folklore, I
Alden.
guess.
Oh, this is a Georgia thing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Legendary creature alleged to inhabit the myriad small streams and abandoned rice fields near the mouth of the Altamaha River in
You're
southeast.
telling me that is supposed to fit inside of a small stream?
How big is
Or it
this
could be
thing?
very
We don't know.
small.
I don't have any scales.
It doesn't have to be 12 feet long. That could be 12 inches long.
That's
Well, it does say river monster. I'd hardly call it a monster if it was a couple inches long.
Right. Yeah.
that's fair.
If
Huh.
it swims in your urethra, you'll
In
call it a monster.
2018, in 2018, decomposing remains were found on a beach in the Wolf Island National Wildlife Refuge, causing speculation that it may be the body of an Altamaha.
I don't know about this.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Altamaha. Sorry. I keep forgetting
See,
that second H.
I
Second
can't
H.
get into it because it sounds like a joke. It's just its name, you know.
Yeah, it's a terrible
Jake,
name.
you didn't read the second sentence of that paragraph in which it said that a performance artist claimed responsibility for leaving the remains.
Well, it's pretty good.
I'm really skeptical whenever anyone is standing next to it and it's like, I found one. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
So you're skeptical when there's hard evidence and proof.
Yes, yeah. I know the nature of it is funky like that, but if you have something truly that is like interdimensional and people are saying they go to take a picture of it, and did you watch the Missing 411 with the David Paulides documentary on people that go missing in national parks and things like that?
First one or the second?
The Hunted or whatever it is called.
The Hunted? Yeah, I
Yeah,
watched that
yeah.
at one point.
So he talks at one point.
Yeah.
He says there's that one woman, oh man, where was that? Ohio or something, where I mean, just go watch this, it's awesome. But the one woman that tries to take a picture of it, that she brings it back home, and she describes this thing as being like the predator, like where she sees like the weird like warped saran wrap space, but she can tell there's a figure there, but it doesn't look like a thing, but it looks like it's warping space and light around it, kind of a thing. And she tried to take a picture of it, and the phone made an image that was impossible for the phone to make in terms of resolution, size, or whatever. And it just did a bunch of funky things, and it did things that weren't supposed to be even possible or whatever, based on how much light it's supposed to take in and how many pixels it's supposed to operate in normally and stuff. And I don't know. I haven't seen this in a year or two or whatever, but like, it's interesting. And there's a lot of stories like that. I just named this one because it's in a documentary or whatever. But.
Well, apparently Brian has seen the Altamaha on a regular basis, it seems like. Thanks, Brian.
Yeah.
Next time, take me so I can see it. I'm not sure what this was in reference to. 4D printed guns when?
4D.
They're extra dimensional.
Yeah.
No, the whole missing 411 phenomenon is fascinating.
It is, yeah.
There's some
And it ties
really
into
weird
this a
stories
lot.
there too.
Yeah.
So, like, there's been stories like, you know, basically kid just kind of like disappears around a corner for a second or for a minute or two.
Yeah.
Completely gone, can't find them. Find the kid dead like days,
Miles
weeks
away.
later, like
Yeah.
either miles away or like up an impossibly steep cliff face with no sign of a predator having
In a
dragged
place that was
up there.
searched multiple times before and wasn't found there before. Yeah.
Like,
Which
there
makes you
are
wonder
some-
about something like the
Absolutely.
Philadelphia experiment.
That's a whole nother episode. That one, man.
Yeah, that we got to put that off for a whole episode.
Wait a minute, is
Philadelphia.
that the one where people are claiming that like an entire like U.S.
Ship
Navy
disappeared
ship
and
was transported
yes.
to another dimension for like 10 minutes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Basically,
nope.
yeah.
We got to go into it right now. I got to know what the frick you're talking about.
It was all
We should do a
bullshit.
show
Steven,
on.
Explain. Just give me a brief overview, Stephen,
All right.
of what you're talking
So
about.
it was a, I don't know if it was a destroyer, but it was a much larger than your standard fishing vessel
Okay.
Navy ship. It was enough to have a crew of, a couple dozen people. And they were firing up and testing a teleportation machine to see if they could, enter another dimension for a little while. And
I think it was said that it
the
was
whole-
a
was that-
cloaking thing, like a stealth thing, was what it was said. But secretly they were really testing interdimensional tech, but they were telling people it was for cloaking. Or
yeah, they were
something.
telling him it was for cloaking. Yeah. And
So if
apparently,
it disappeared, people wouldn't freak out because they're like, "Oh, we cloaked it," like that's what. I don't know.
something like the whole crew claims that they were gone for way longer than they actually were.
Yeah,
But it was unaccounted for 15 seconds or something brief. But they were saying they were gone for several minutes. And apparently there was also some speculation. I've seen some William Shatner narrated documentary that there was a couple of guys that were stuck in the walls when it came
that's
back.
what I was remembering too. Yeah,
Yeah.
What?
they've merged with the vessel, like the atoms kind of like crossed space or whatever. Like if you, yeah,
Okay. We can do a longer.
it's like The Fly.
part of
It's
an
like the
episode
movie The
about
Fly.
that. I'm interested.
Yeah,
I'm interested. We'll discuss that at a different time.
that
Um,
and the Montauk Project, which is
Okay.
what Stranger Things is based on, basically.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it deals in some really funky, weird stuff, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, no kidding. Have you seen the show?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, the show is tame compared to like what the stories are about the Montauk Project. It's wild.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I've been on a business trip with my dad before. This was back when I was 14. He had a job where he had to go to different military bases and test the transformers for certain chemicals, PCBs and all that kind of stuff. And we wound up going to a place that we found out later was Area 52.
What?
So it's not the infamous Area 51, but it was real close.
Mm.
Nevada?
And we're out in the middle of damn nowhere, out in the desert, just driving. And, this is before the GPS days, so I'm sitting there holding my DeLorme map going, yeah, this is the road. Keep going straight. And all of a sudden we get flanked by about 7 Escalades, just blacked out. They pull up. Hey, what are you doing? So he holds up his name badge, says what he's doing, and follow us. So then we start going 80, 90 miles an hour in the middle of the desert, and then take a hard left turn, and then we go down a little bit of a hill, and then all of a sudden it just, like the hillside, very small drop, 10, 15 feet, just opens up. And you look in there, and there's like a whole warehouse just in the side of the ground right here. And I was like, what's going on? And of course, I was 14. I was freaked out.
How'd you have clearance to get there?
I did not. I was not supposed to be there. That was not take your son to work day.
At Area 52.
They made that very clear because he told me, and then 3 of them told me, you stay in the truck. Okay. Because
That's
apparently, that place technically doesn't exist.
Right.
It does
And
now.
there was some weird stuff going to and from that place. Like there was some colors in the sky at sunset that God didn't put there. There's just some weird things going on. And there was a couple of times throughout that trip that like we both just lost time. Like it was just we're driving. I'm filming some things with the VHS camcorder.
Nice.
Filming some things, and then all of a sudden, because we even watched the video too. The video would skip, and then like 30 minutes have gone by. It was like, where are we at?
What?
Yeah. And that wasn't the only time that thing had happened to him too. I mean, there was one time that same job. He was somewhere in Louisiana, and he said he was driving. He was just kind of zoned out, and then yeah, there we go. That's what
Brian says. Area 51 is a psyop. Area 52.
No, the aliens are kept in Ohio at Wright Pat.
I don't know.
Wait, they're not at that base in New Mexico that has the 13 levels underground or whatever?
What if they're
from
under the
what's his
Denver
name?
International Airport?
That's a great segue. Let's segue. let's go to the next one. Zach,
You're welcome.
let's go skip ahead to go past the election thing. Let's go straight to the first Denver International Airport one. And let's watch this video.
Everyone knows elections
With
are fake
sound,
anyway.
please.
Airports are surrounded by barbed wire for safety, but the barbs face outward to keep people out. For some reason, at the airport, barbed wire was installed the wrong way. It's designed to keep people in. 5 large buildings were built, and after they were completed, they were covered up. The official report is they were built in the wrong place. These buildings range from 7 stories to 15 stories tall, but rather than demolish them, they buried them. That's very suspicious. Also suspicious is the 40-foot wide tunnel that was built to connect these buried buildings to the rest of the facility. 110 million cubic yards of earth had been moved for the underground structure, way more than required. For comparison, that's about 1/3 the amount of earth moved to dig the entire Panama Canal.
Wow.
Wait a minute. You're saying that your evidence for this conspiracy is that government contractors bungled a construction job?
Even that, though, you don't build 5 buildings incorrectly that badly to the point where you just say, yeah, we're going to bury them now.
Bury a 15
We're going to bury a
story.
7-story tall building.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, let's go to the next video of that one. Zach.
Complex network of tunnels was built underneath the airport. Officially, this is 6 levels, but some workers said it's deeper than this, though nobody can say for sure. 5,300 miles of fiber optics were installed for communication. Now, that's enough cable to go from New York to LA and back. A fueling system was built that can pump 1,000 gallons of jet fuel per minute. This is way overkill for a commercial airport. Runway 16R/34L is almost 3 miles long, the longest runway in the country. This is also overkill for a commercial airport, unless you're planning to land even bigger planes, and lots of them.
Yeah.
All right. So this is Denver International Airport, for which there is a massive conspiracy theory about what actually went on with the build of this airport. Yeah. Stephen, Alden, what are your first
Should we
thoughts?
start with like the numbers of it, of just that it was $4.8 billion to make. $2 billion
almost
over
twice
budget.
as expensive as the Fulton County Jail.
Yeah. in today's numbers, it'd be about twice that, and it'd be about $8 billion to make this airport or whatever. And like I said, $2 billion over budget, and like a year and a half over. And they kept doing funky things like this. We're like, oh, we built these 5 buildings, and then it's like, oops, they're in the wrong spot, or they were quote unquote built incorrectly. So then they connect them and then bury them. Like, that doesn't make any sense. There's a ton of stuff in that it's way overbuilt, where it's basically militarized. Like, the standards for it are way unnecessary. And he was getting into some of that, so I won't get into the numbers on that. But
yeah, if you've ever flown into Denver, it's wild because there's nothing in the immediate vicinity.
do you know? Speaking of nothing in the immediate vicinity, do you know who owns property in the immediate vicinity?
Please say
Bill Gates.
Royalty. I don't know about
Jeffrey
Bill Gates,
Epstein.
but probably Obama, the Queen of England, princes and shit, like prime ministers, royalty. Everyone's got weird plots like assigned to them around this airport. It's bizarre. Another
Wow.
known thing that you can look up. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and then you got the eerie circus tent looking appearance
I'll
of
have
it.
to pull.
And
Yeah.
then it's just the whole subterranean thing. It's there's no doubt that there's some form of continuity of government going on. There's probably high speed rails underground, like the guy said, oddly enough, that could get you from LA to New York and back.
I mean, he was just describing the length of cable, but I do think there's a subterranean system that goes.
In case of nuclear fallout, that the government could get from LA to New York and several other places.
Yeah, Brian, you're correct. There's no way the Fulton County Jail will get built without going over budget.
Oh yeah, case in point, Plant Vogel. They exceeded the budget by 300%. They're 20 years late, and they're just now producing power.
Do you guys know too that the CIA recently pushed to have its headquarters moved from Langley, Virginia, to Denver, Colorado?
Yep, I did.
Just saying.
I
So
did
now you
know
get the
that.
CIA is setting up their headquarters right there.
There you
Well,
go.
I mean,
Well,
this
the
is all
FBI is
planned.
moving. They're moving Quantico to Huntsville, Alabama.
I mean,
really?
It's not surprising
trying
these
to build
things exist. there's
trying to build like apocalypse bunkers is obviously nothing new. Like I was on a tour of some huge like cave in Kentucky where they were like during the 50s and 60s.
Mammoth
They were
caves?
doing like experiments in how long can we have people live down here before they, either die from not having enough nutrients or they go
Or turn into
insane.
Gollum.
So
So
Like that
the
movie.
Denver International Airport is the 7th most expensive airport ever built. It's the
Yeah.
most expensive airport in the United States.
For sure.
The ones above it are Dubai, Beijing, Al Maktoum, where's that one? Southwest of Dubai. London
So
Heathrow,
Dubai. Yeah.
Hong Kong, and Kansai, which is in Japan. And then the only airport
And
that
if
is
you look,
bigger,
it's
the only airport that's bigger than DIA is King Fahd International in Daman, Saudi Arabia.
hmm
Denver is
Bigger in
more
what
than
way?
twice acreage.
The next one.
Acreage.
Yeah.
Like how much
Acreage?
space it takes
Okay,
up on
'cause I
the,
was
on
gonna
the
say,
earth.
like if you look, there's only like 3 concourses. Meanwhile, Atlanta has what, like 5 or 6?
7, I think.
So yeah, whatever. So like as far as
Which is
like
another
the
thing that's weird
airport
is how
itself,
much
when
space
you
it
look,
needs.
I mean, I'm seeing what 5, 6 runways on this, and yeah, I mean, you've got the one massive 16 right, 34 left.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, so
Runway
let's see.
16, 34.
I mean,
Yeah, and that's despite its larger size, Atlanta still does more volume than any of those you just mentioned.
oh yeah,
Again, with
By
that, that's
far.
weird. Is that why build it so to have these capacities if you're not using it? It's overbuilt for its commercial purposes, honestly. Yeah.
Right. And then you got guys like what was his name? Not Phil Hoffman. That's the actor. Phil Schneider.
Oh yeah.
Phil
okay.
Schneider, who actually
Yeah.
looks kind of like Phil Hoffman.
He does actually a little bit. I know who you're talking
Yeah.
about. It's
He's
like-
he's got this testimony that now, of course, this is Dolce base under
Phil
New Mexico.
Hoffman minus a hand or something like.
Yeah. He got his fingers cut off because he got shot with a ray gun because he was battling the Greys.
He said, was that in the Denver building? The Denver
That was in
airport, or-
Dolce.
Okay,
but
I was like, I didn't
supposedly
remember that,
Dolce
but-
and Denver are connected with the underground. tunnel
Oh,
system.
okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know about this particular story. Yeah, where he like went
Yeah,
underground.
that-
and,
that's what
I don't know.
massive long tunnels underground. That's a hard pill to swallow and believe.
I don't think so at all. But
I mean,
I'm
Does anybody-
hardcore.
I mean, hang on. Does anybody else think that looks like a swastika?
Oh yeah,
That's what people say.
I mean,
Are you
that
like, organically
really
just saying?
looks like a. I've never
You
heard.
mean the Hindu symbol of peace, Jake? Come on.
That's exactly what I mean.
Yeah,
no,
it's
that's
the
what-
kind
that's-
of peace that wants to take over the world and kill the Jews.
That is one of the theories, or like one of the supporting elements in the theory.
Yeah. Nick
Why
should
did
Shimon
we-
is
they?
under the chat.
Why did they put
All right,
their runways like that?
Most are angled at airports. Like, should we get into
So-
the murals?
So I mean, the way that you would determine which direction to build runways in is that you would build because it's always better
It's
to
a
land
central-
plane. It's always better to land planes into the wind.
Correct.
So when you're building an airport, first you'll take measurements of what directions does the wind often blow, and then in most places, because of like the Coriolis effect or whatever, most locations have one or maybe two dominant directions of wind direction, and then you will build runways in line with those directions.
Correct.
So
That doesn't.
the-
that
the-
still
the-
doesn't mean you have to build it in the shape of a swastika, Zane. Like,
Yeah,
they
these
could have
roads go
just
4 ways.
they could have just lined them up and then lined them up sideways down here.
Well,
Like,
what
The
Zane
other
is
thing
saying
is, the other thing is,
that's
if I
God's
really,
swastika.
if I really were building an evil airport, do you think that I would intentionally build the runways in the shape of a swastika? And
Why not?
doing something that would only draw even more attention to it?
yeah, I think
There's
so.
there's
think so.
all kinds of
Yes.
stuff in this airport that draws attention to itself.
Yeah, let's
I
get
mean,
into
it's
murals and statues and stuff.
yeah. Let's get into the statues and the murals, and even the advertisements throughout the airport. Like, do weird stuff where they acknowledge, like, they have this cheeky joke thing where they're like, "Are we like working on a restaurant, or are we building the Illuminati headquarters?" Like,
Okay, Zach sent me a quote from RFK Jr. He says, "We had U.S. Marshals come to our house to take us down. They were going to take us down to White Sulphur Springs in Southern Virginia in the Blue Ridge Mountains, where there was an underground city, essentially a bunker, a city. Apparently, it had a McDonald's in it. It was a full city for the U.S. government and their families."
wow.
Right. You got these places all over. Like you have Raven Rock in southern Pennsylvania on the border of Maryland. There's some facility off in the Ozarks under a mountain. Like these facilities are around.
For sure.
Brian says Zane is beyond a Fed. He's a reptilian from the center of the earth.
There we go.
The hat is to hide
I'm extra
his
dimensional.
There we
Yeah.
go. I love it.
Well, and while aliens are still classified as cryptids, I mean, we could get into that while we're talking about the Denver airport as well. And you got who was it? The Canadian defense minister when he retired a few years ago, Paul Hillier. He gave a 25-minute farewell speech, and he's talking about like there's 13 known races of extraterrestrials on the planet, and like 7 of them work exclusively with the U.S. government,
And the rest work at McDonald's.
yeah, in White Sulphur Springs.
Yeah.
But he was
I
basically
know
saying
this
like
speech,
the tall whites are the ones that are particularly in bed with the U.S. government. 10 to 12 feet tall. They look like Nordic people, but they're just super huge.
Yeah.
Always the
All
Nordics.
whites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the tall whites. There's the grays. He listed a bunch of them. He listed like several different races that he said are known to the Canadian and North and U.S. governments. And he worked with them during his tenure as Canadian defense minister.
I've heard a lot of people say similar things, to be honest. Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know that it's true or not, but I've heard a lot of people say it.
Well, I mean, Canadians aren't really allowed to lie. So that would be rude.
I'm getting distracted. Y'all keep talking. I'm trying to find something.
They originally pitched for this airport this like idea. They're like, "Ooh, we're gonna build this like underground baggage carousel situation or whatever," and it's like it's gonna be worth it, guys. Trust me. And then like a decade later, it broke, and they were like, we're not gonna fix it. And then they just go to using regular, just drive the baggage around systems, but they still have the underground labyrinth that costs people billions of dollars to make. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just the whole thing looks like they just basically were like, let's just make up some phony baloney bullshit why we need to spend this much money to build this airport, and then they don't even use the systems anymore. Like,
right. And so what?
Sounds like you're
you mentioned the
standard
murals and
boondoggle
the
to
sculptures
me.
and all that kind of stuff. How about the white horse of the apocalypse being right there in the main courtyard?
yeah,
Going into
or
the
blue,
airport.
but yeah.
Well, okay.
Hey, we'll call it. I don't know.
What's the blue horse then?
I have no idea, but I attribute it to a similar thing of like potentially an apocalypse reference. But
I've heard
Yeah.
the horse statues and apocalypse reference.
yeah,
I looked it up at one point, but I can't remember what it looks like at this point.
it's
ominous.
people-
Like it's
yeah.
not just like, oh, they
There's a
fish
whole-
the eyes wrong. It's got a clearly evil appearance to it. Yeah, look at that.
the eyes glow.
Lucifer.
Lucifer. Oh god.
Yeah, that's what people call it. Yeah. Yeah,
The frick is that thing?
Yeah.
And killed its sculptor.
it did. It fell on him. That's right. Yeah,
That is
Yeah.
wild. That is
it killed
wild.
its creator.
Alden,
Yeah.
I'm sitting here searching for who owns land around DIA.
I know Obama's one and the Queen is one or was.
I'm looking
I'm
at.
guessing these are owned through Shell Corporation. So if I go pull the Onyx for it, it's not. If I go pull an Onyx map for Denver,
That's what
I'm
I
not
have
gonna
right now.
see-
Colorado typically has great GIS. Are you looking at the county GIS application?
I'm looking at Onyx.
Okay.
And I've
That's a
yet to
decent
find
one.
anything. It's a great.
Did you guys see?
You'd be
the,
better
like-
off going to county GIS.
Go to your face.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll GIS on your face. I shouldn't have said that one. But... oh god,
that was good.
Yeah. So and then
I thought we were a
within the
family
airport
show.
you have various sculptures that some things that resemble Nazi soldiers.
that's the murals. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you want to get into the murals?
Yeah,
I think
for
you guys
sure.
can get on that
Yeah.
one.
All right.
The
launch
murals
into the
are
murals.
crazy. I don't know if we have images of them, but they depict potentially the end of the world, like burning forests and cities, and like kind of a Noah's Ark looking situation, but with like dead animals or something. It is dark. It's weird.
There we go.
So there's the one that I'm talking about. Yeah.
There's a Thunderbird.
Yeah.
What the frick is going on here?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's all on fire, burning. You got
dead people.
What?
Yeah.
Who
dead
painted
kids
this
and like
stuff?
A lot of like native stuff. And then they mentioned I think Quetzalcoatl was mentioned in one of these. Yeah, that bird I think is like
Quetzalcoatl. Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
reference.
Yeah, and then there's the one that's like the fascist or Nazi looking soldier with a gas mask.
Yeah, there we go.
There we
That's the
go.
one I'm talking about.
Didn't they paint over this one though?
Well, they took him down, I think. They said
That one's
they were
the
moving
most
him.
bizarre one.
It is.
Yeah.
Stabbing.
What's going on there? Yeah, stabbing
The dove
stabbing
of
the symbol of
peace.
peace. Stabbing
Yeah.
the international peace symbol, a dove.
And do you know what this letter is?
Which letter?
The note on the bottom
Oh,
right here.
No, I don't know.
This is a 14-year-old boy that died at Auschwitz, a poem he wrote.
What the heck?
I'm just saying, I don't know, man. There's dead babies, and it looks like he's chopping down buildings.
So that's that's obviously a Nazi soldier as well. I mean, you can
clearly
recognize
looks like,
the Hugo Boss drip from a mile away.
Yeah.
What the heck, man? That is so weird.
And then in this one, all the kids in the world kill the soldier and turn in their guns to the weird communist hammer boy guy. I don't know, man. It's bizarre. There's some weird stuff going on here.
Yeah, and there's
Wow,
like
the
the
American
rainbow
flag
in
is
half
rolled
of
up.
these. Yeah,
Wait a minute. Is this like a swords and the plowshares kind of thing?
Yeah, I think you're
Yeah.
right, though, yeah.
That might make it at least a little bit more understandable what's going on here.
But
Not
it
saying
reads-
that's not weird, but
It reads
But
left to
you
right.
read the other chapters after that and what happened to them after they turned their swords into plowshares.
Yeah.
all I'm saying is that that's still a common phrase that
I
people
understand
say
that, yeah.
without reference to the other chapters.
Yeah.
But
Fair
the way that these were depicted, they go left to right. They actually start here and then they get worse. And so it's actually more like the reverse order kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
the
there's that
poem.
letter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was once a little child who longed for other worlds, but I am no more a child, for I have known fear. I've learned to hate. How tragic, then, is youth, which lives with enemies, with gallows ropes. Yet I still believe I only sleep today, that I'll wake up a child again and start to laugh and play.
Goodness gracious.
It's so dark.
Who like
Wow.
why? Why? I don't get it.
Like Moses.
There's also like weird gargoyles like around the place that are like statues of gargoyles that are popping out of suitcases at security checkpoints.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre, man.
No,
It's the
there are
weirdest
those.
place.
I've flown into that place a bunch of times because Nikki's mom used to live there, and we still have friends who live there. And so I've flown into Denver quite a bit. It is a bizarre place, and it's always under construction. Always.
Yeah. And that's interesting too, honestly. That's weird too. There's one of the gargoyles. It's like the Hear No Evil gargoyle.
That is so weird. It's Notre Denver. That's hilarious. Same. Interesting.
Uh-huh. Or Nostradamus.
All right. Well, I feel like DIA will be an ongoing thing that will keep popping up every now and then when new things emerge.
There's a lot of things that link to it potentially. It's bizarre, to be honest.
All right, well, let's go to some other stuff. Let's
Should we live podcast from Denver International?
Should we just do a sit-in Denver International Airport and not leave until we get answers?
I feel like I gotta mention the
We'll just fly in there and we'll
stone.
just sit there and podcast. We'll go opening doors.
What do you got to mention, Alden?
The dedication cornerstone that has the Masonic symbol on it that's in there. It's a time capsule that's not supposed to be open for 100 years or whatever. And it says the words New World Airport Commission. And no one knows what that is and who started that or whatever. It's bizarre.
What the heck?
Or at least I don't know, and I've looked it up. But
I'm looking.
they also had an Anubis statue in there in 2010 for a while. But, which looks like a dog man, by the way.
Wow. So the artist that built Lucifer, that evil horse statue, the way it killed him, there's a piece of fiberglass that fell off and severed an artery in his leg.
Yeah, like pinned him.
Like it wasn't just you were squished; it was like a tragic ending.
No, the bro bled out.
Live from Skinwalker Ranch. That's great.
You have to pay me a lot of money to go to fucking Skinwalker Ranch. I don't fuck around with the Skinwalkers.
The New World Airport Commission?
Yeah. See, what the hell is that?
New World Airport. Okay, I'm looking that up.
Yeah. If you find anything on it, let me know because I don't know anything about it. Yeah.
World Airport Commission.
It is bizarre.
The only thing I can find is Denver International Airport. The only thing that pops up immediately. We'll do more research. We'll come back around to DIA some more in the future because it's an interesting one. Billions of our tax dollars have gone to it, so it's definitely one that I'm intrigued about. All right, let's go to the next deal here, Zach. Let's show me that Soviet era ship plane. Watch this sucker.
Oh, the Caspian Sea monster.
Yeah, play this.
Is this amphibious?
Lies the flying sea monster, the only Soviet Lund-class Ekranoplan ever built. Neither a boat nor a plane, the Ekranoplan was designed to launch nuclear-tipped missiles at NATO submarines and aircraft carriers. It was an aircraft that flew just above the surface of the water and was designed to exploit the wing-in ground effect that occurs when an aircraft flies really low, causing air pressure to build between the wings and the water surface. This creates a cushion of air beneath the plane that increases the lift and decreases the drag, making the aircraft way more efficient. This enabled the Ekranoplan to reach top speeds of 600 kilometers per hour, and its extremely low cruising altitude made it basically invisible to NATO ship radars until it was within striking range, making it capable of sinking even the largest warships, including US aircraft carriers. However, it also had some serious weaknesses, and its development was halted when the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991. Still, it's pretty incredible, isn't it? And if you're interested in aerospace stories like this, follow for more.
That is a crazy piece of machinery.
Oh, yeah.
That is wild.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty brilliant.
It's genius. He didn't mention it's like pitfalls or it's like negative sides. Anybody got ideas on what
third gear? It explodes. Yeah.
Third gear. It's just
you're held to
large waves.
I think you're held to what, like within 10 feet of the water surface.
Yeah, you can't go up. Yeah.
Like yes, but I mean that's good because you're below all the radar. But
I wonder if it floats. Like if it,
I would think it would
have to float. Yeah. You would think it would, and then also, if it turns, is it going to turn like a boat?
It has to turn real
or is it going to actually tilt?
Yeah, that's interesting.
That would probably be a couple of the downsides for that machine. But man, I thought that thing was incredible.
Yeah, it probably doesn't bank very well if it's going to dip a wing in the water or something.
Right.
Yeah, that's probably one of the
ones in the Megalodon.
Downside, it can only go forward. Like that's it.
Yeah. Takes 3 miles to turn around.
Yeah.
Seriously.
At least if you're going 600 kilometers an hour, it probably takes freaking 100 kilometers to turn.
Turning radius. The turning radius is extra dimensional.
There we go. All right. Well, let's see some cops being bad cops.
Do we ever have any good cop videos?
No, that's only
For
two.
a second. Why? Because I want to talk to you for a second. Recommended crime? Well, I don't know. Where you coming from? I don't answer questions. Okay. Am I being today? How old are you? I don't answer questions. Okay, come here. Am I being today? Yes, you are. What crime have I committed? Sit down.
Well, you tell me. Why would we get a call for you guys?
We were just walking. We didn't do nothing. For what? This is a public sidewalk. What have you
This is
investigated?
where they assume they're underage.
You're not going to tell me how to do my job and my law.
Well, you're not doing it right because I ain't committed no crime.
How old are you?
I'll answer questions.
Look like juvenile with me, right?
What crime have I committed? Oh, you're already in handcuffs. Perfect. How old are you?
His
I
number
don't
now.
answer questions. All right. There you go. Under arrest. For what? Switching to curfew. You look like you're underage.
The officers check the men's ID and find that they are both of legal age.
So far, I don't like any of them. I don't like you either. Who are you servicing?
America thanks you for your service at Costco.
America doesn't thank you for your service. You're a disgrace.
I love these two kids.
Yeah.
I don't answer questions.
They're literally just arresting them because they look young.
Yep.
They look like
Yeah.
they're out past curfew. They don't tell them that though. He said, "Why am I being arrested?" Doesn't answer. "Why am I being arrested?" Doesn't answer. And
He says, "Am I being detained?" And he says, "Yes."
And then
First he says no.
Then
Then
he
he says
handcuffs.
But you just can't detain someone without having
No.
reasonable, articulable suspicion that a crime has been or will be committed.
There we
No,
go.
he could probably have a pretty good lawsuit, honestly, against the
Oh,
force
yeah.
there because
Oh,
that's
yeah.
ridiculous.
And I mean, the channel that came from Lackluster does a great job with finding these videos and sticking them out there. And I've subscribed to him on YouTube and check out what he puts out every week. And there's just absolutely insane stories he throws out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
petty is it too that the cop is like, "I don't like you," and the guy's like, "I don't like you either. Of course I don't like you." Like,
I don't like you.
You're a disgrace.
yeah.
Oh man,
What did the cop say that it's like people thank him for his service when he goes to Costco? Is that what he said?
Is that what he said? I'm watching it right now.
Gosh.
Lick the boot. Oh my god. Oh, I saw one. I don't know if I have it still, but I saw one cop video that was actually pretty cool where a guy saw a beer bottle open in the cop car and he was like, "Do you mind if I breathalyze you?" And he was like, "All right." And he let him do it or whatever. And he was like, I don't remember the story of why there was a beer bottle in there. It was like from somebody else or something. But he actually like let the civilian, he showed him how to do the breathalyzer and everything. And he did it and he complied and he was cool. I was like, okay, there's one out of like 1,000 videos where a cop was like, yeah, sure, whatever.
He did say, "America thanks you for your service at Costco." He did say that.
Oh, is that what he said? Okay.
Yeah. It's just so dang funny.
Oh, it's brutal.
Yeah, I don't get why. Like, just quit power tripping, man. Like, just let them go. Let them do their thing. It just that drives me nuts.
You know, tagging a building or like, fine, that stops it. Like, but you're just walking around.
I think the full story on that was being disruptive or messing around inside of a gas station convenience store or something. But I don't even think that they had complete evidence that it was those kids, and I don't think they were actually doing anything illegal.
Well, that's the issue.
Kept,
like Shane talked about this in Divide and Dominate, where he said like the cops basically nowadays make you prove your innocence rather than proving you're guilty.
Yep.
They don't do any of the work, and the onus is on you to defend yourself after you've already been arrested or detained, which is the exact opposite of how it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
And so that kind of stuff is just a bunch of BS. Like,
right.
Go do your job, do the work, figure out if they actually committed a crime, and then go arrest them, idiot.
There you go.
But you're asking them to do the boring part of their job and not do the fun part.
It's not so fun when you end up getting, fired over this or suspended. So that's not
paid leave.
Or that's even more fun.
Problem though,
Yeah,
no one gets held accountable. All that happens is the taxpayers pay a lawsuit out.
Yeah, that's true. All right, let's talk about global warming for a moment.
All right.
Oh boy.
No, this is great.
Greenland melting. Turns out it's based on out-of-date, old data. The Earth is not boiling. In fact, it comes from a computer model based on decades-old data. These so-called scientists refuse to use the new data that was published in 2020. Instead, they keep using the old, out-of-date data from 2010, 13 years ago. If they did use the new data, they would see that the Earth's temperature has dropped slightly, and Greenland's melting of ice actually went in the reverse. There's more ice in Greenland now. But don't let the facts get in the way. As long as women in Rome are stripping down and jumping in fountains in the middle of August, newspapers will continue to tell us that the Earth is boiling.
There we go. Well, and that's case in point, the proof of global warming. Compare today's female underwear to the underwear of 1900. Look at how much smaller it is. Obviously, it's gotten hotter.
Look, I think if COVID proved anything, it's that we should trust data and computer models.
Totally.
Yeah.
You absolutely should. I mean, they basically predicted that we'd all be dead by now if we didn't lock down to slow the spread for 2 weeks.
There you go.
2 weeks to
And,
flatten the
and
heat
after
curve.
those 3 years of 2 weeks to slow the spread, everyone was still alive.
That's right. But acid rain was supposed to kill me in the late 90s.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I love there's so many videos and memes and stuff out there just listing all the proposals that are all the things that they said were going to happen each decade. And literally not one has happened.
Well, right, you mean 20 years ago, the rainforest didn't disappear?
What? It didn't? That's great.
When I was in school in the 90s, they had videos that were like, it's only going to last 4 years. You know what I mean?
Yep. No, I remember that.
Yeah.
There were signs, I think, at like Glacier National Park that was like by, I forget if it was like 2019 or 2021 or something, like something very recent. There'd be no more glacier, and they had to take the sign down and change it.
Brian says, we're all dead. This is a different dimension.
Actually,
an episode of Lost. We're all dead.
Did you hear that? If you want to get into that, though, remember December 21st, 2012, the whole Mayan end of the cycle thing? There's a whole conspiracy theory out there. Yes, back to that. That we all actually did die on December 21st, 2012, and we're in a different dimension.
That's right. Yeah, because CERN fired up too. They had some kind of satanic ritual.
So,
because they have what's that Hindu goddess they have out there?
Shiva.
Yeah, and in the statue, she's doing the Maharaj.
Kandakram Shiva, Kamini Soma Kandakram. Hey!
Oh my god!
Yeah, that's the theory also that.
Wow, what a coincidence that everybody died and everybody moved over to a different dimension that's identical to the one that we were previously in.
Well, I've been
except
peeing,
the basic things except the Berenstein Bears,
and I've been peeing green ever since 2012. So I don't know what you know.
We all got transferred to a dimension where Mr. Monopoly wears a monocle.
Yes, this was actually part of the explanation for the Mandela effect. Also,
it's
it's
like
funny.
An energetic consciousness rift.
I swear I saw a movie with Sinbad as a freaking genie though.
Dude, I remember trailers for it, kind of a thing, and I was like, oh yeah, that. And then when I heard that was a theory that it didn't happen, I was like, wait, they're saying it didn't happen. My mind.
Oh yeah,
went upside
and
down
Fruit of the Loom never having a cornucopia.
That one drives me.
Maybe I bought the off-brand.
All right,
Fruit of the Loam. Maybe I don't know.
I mean, I do remember cornucopia. That drives me nuts.
You too? I'm seriously. I didn't know what it was. I thought it was fruit in a brown witch hat. I didn't know what a cornucopia was as a kid.
There we go.
So I was like, "What the hell is this?" Anyway.
All right, I'm on board with this conspiracy theory now.
Yeah.
I dig it.
We got Jake. Yeah.
I got 3 confirmations that everybody thought there was a cornucopia.
We talked for 2 hours about Dogman and it didn't work, but the underwear got Jake,
Zach remembers the cornucopia too. And
there
Zach
we go. There's another one.
When Harambe died.
I mean, that's another interesting point. Things have gone to hell since then.
All right. I've got 4 funny videos, and then we'll end on one that Zach's got. This has been a crazy episode. I don't care about cryptids. I hated that. I hated that whole first part. I'm glad we're over that. We're never doing another cryptids episode.
Just wait till you see Bigfoot up in Montana.
I have no interest in it. I need more evidence. I need more evidence. It's the same way I don't believe in aliens, y'all.
Look, I'm the expert. Trust the experts.
Okay. Let's not get into that. All right. Here we go. So there are a bunch of idiot people online all the time now giving you financial advice and life advice on things you should do. This is a guy ridiculing somebody who's trying to do that.
Bro. They keep spawning.
It takes less time to make $1 million than it takes to make 100,000. And the reason is you only think of solutions to the problems that you set for yourself, and you start using superior vehicles to making money.
Bro, what are you talking about? Huh? Listen to this first sentence.
It takes less time to make $1 million than it takes to make 100,000. And
no, it doesn't. How? You got to make $100,000 to make $1 million. You make $100,000 first, then you make $101,000.
He has the unit cube on the screen,
and then eventually $1 million. It's actually impossible to make $1 million before $100,000 because that's not how numbers work.
That's just
math. And I learned that in second grade.
if you start thinking at $1 million or $10 million a year, you're forced to think with more leverage because you can't trade your time to get that kind of money.
It's fugazi, it's fugazi, it's fairy dust.
Fugazi, it's a wazi, it's a woozy, it's a fairy dust. It doesn't exist.
Motherfuckers are just talking, dude. It's another entrepreneur, bro. They keep spawning.
I want to know how much money that guy makes. Like, I'm not going to listen to him until he's made his first 10 million.
Well, hey, step one to being a millionaire: you wear a Breathe Right nasal strip all day, so you get more oxygen into your brain.
I wear this all the time. There's been a couple of shows where I go to sit down and like I gotta take one off before the show.
You gotta get sinus surgery, man. That's what fixed me.
I just got this skinny Michael Jackson nose, man. It's just not good.
You just need a better nose.
You need sinus surgery. I'm telling you. We'll talk after the show, Alden.
I'll fix that.
All right, here we go. Here's another one.
It's a cryptid.
Octopi have started using ocean trash as tools. They're grabbing cans and bottles to make stuff that's pretty cool. They're smart enough to build houses in camo with your garbage. So don't forget this warning as your refuse is discarded.
Please stop littering before the octopi start building elaborate mech suits and launching full-scale land assaults on our coastal cities. For heaven's sake, don't drop a gun, or society will soon be overrun.
So do I have to stop throwing batteries in the ocean then?
Oh, I thought that was freaking.
Well, you can put batteries in a lake too. Just make sure you fill it up with water first, so it actually sinks.
Okay, so this next one is the sad kind of funny. Yeah, I'm just gonna.
The sad kind of funny.
This guy is describing a real thing. Okay, a real thing that TikTokers are learning. So here we go.
You guys ever done this? But walking without your phone. This is a really cool new. I don't understand how it's become like a TikTok trend because you're not supposed to have your phone.
That was my big question.
So they call it silent walking. That is going for a walk without their phones or without listening to music, podcasts, or any sort of technology or technological distraction. Podcaster Maddie Mayo takes credit for unintentionally starting a movement that she promises will change your life. She explains her boyfriend was the one who first challenged her to take a walk without any distractions. No AirPods.
So then shouldn't he get credit?
Just me, myself, and I. She said in the video, which has now gained almost 500,000 views. And at first I was like, no, my anxiety could never, which is probably what you're thinking. But something within me was like, let me just try it. And she's like, this is very bold. Like, let me just try to walk. She said that in the first 2 minutes of her walk, there was mayhem until she hit a flow state when suddenly you can hear yourself. I hate this so much.
Did she say that like I didn't think I could ever do this with my anxiety?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be like more calming? Her boyfriend's definitely cheating on her, by the way.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I got a new challenge for you. Can you leave the house?
Yeah, without your phone.
Yeah, it's the go. It's the go away challenge.
I don't know if you guys ever done this.
That's an
There's this
actual
new thing.
TikTok trend. That's an actual
my
TikTok
God.
trend from young dum-dums.
So the Tide Pod challenge and walking.
I gotta say, I like this challenge way better than the Tide Pod challenge.
I don't know.
I mean,
Tide
at
Pod
least
challenge,
TikTok
at least,
challenges have now evolved to be something that's actually good for you.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I mean,
although the
that's
Tide
stealing
Pod
IKEA.
challenge is good by removing, people from the gene pool who didn't deserve to be there. So
that's very.
Do you remember? So Nick, you're old enough to remember this Darwin Awards.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Darwin
man,
Awards were awesome.
Like a meth dealer got arrested, and he put 2 chemicals in his back pocket to try to hide it from the cops, and like caught himself on fire and died.
Oh my God!
Because he created a chemical reaction in his back
Yeah,
pocket.
because
Darwin
you
Award.
pick that up in a bottle and you don't get rid of it.
I always remember the ones that would try to reach up into a vending machine and tip the vending machine over onto themselves.
So vending machines kill more people than Hillary Clinton on an annual basis.
That's not possible.
Like it's
no way.
more than Great White attacks. It's up there, dude. It's like 30 people a year in the country.
That's still
Compared
not more
to-
than Hillary Clinton kills.
Which one's more, that or coconuts?
Oh yeah, coconuts. That's up there too.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. This is just for the boys. This is just for the men. Thought y'all would enjoy this because I did.
It's the best sound ever.
Apparently, Commander Manning report.
It's just a rust removal with a laser. I mean, there's no way. God.
That's awesome.
Yo, it's like a soundtrack. Hey, shut up! Just wait.
Incredible.
Come on! Yo, you shut up. Everybody shut up.
Dude,
That's
it
crazy.
goes on for so long. It's crazy.
Those are the actual native sounds of that thing.
Yeah.
No, there's no way that those are the actual sounds.
I mean,
Why
the
would it
sound
even make
seems
sound?
legit. Sound seems real. I mean,
That's
I
You
don't
just
know.
want the sound to be real.
No,
Yeah.
I do a bunch of audio.
Like Alden wants
stuff.
Mothman to be real.
I don't want Mothman to be real. No.
Well, he was. He predicted the collapse of the bridge. So
No. All right, Zach, let's show the last one. If y'all don't know who Ryan Long is, you should go subscribe to his YouTube channel, TikTok, Instagram, all of it, because this guy is a comedic genius. So let's watch
In
this.
discussing America's involvement in the Israel-Palestine conflict, Republican Senator Lindsey Graham has made a plea to Congress saying he just wants one more war and then won't ask again after that, he promises. Graham then went on to say that he hasn't asked them for a war since Ukraine, which was like forever ago, and it doesn't even have to be a big one. He just needs a little something to keep him regular, and then he'll be out of their hair, hand to God. When the topic of de-escalation and the possibility of working towards an agreement for a ceasefire and the safe return of the hostages came up, Lindsey Graham stood up and said, and I quote, "Come on, man, don't do this to me. You're killing me here. It doesn't even have to be a full war. We can even go with a measly proxy. I just need a little taste. Come on, guys, don't cock block me." Okay, listen, I don't want to have to beg, but I'll beg. Before getting down on his knees and continuing, all I'm asking for is a tiny little scuffle with Hamas and a quick little Donnybrook with Iran. And obviously Hezbollah will catch a little spray too, but that's war, baby. Let's f***ing go. At which point he stood up and started punching air before saying, "Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. What I'm trying to say is I need this. There, I said it. On my mother's grave, I won't bother you again after this." At which point Senator Rand Paul stood up and said, "I just think we should all take a moment to breathe before we enter another war." To which Lindsey Graham stood back up and responded, "Shut the f*** up, Rand Paul. No one's talking to you, you f***ing pussy." What do you say, guys? Who's in? Before putting his hand over his mouth in a cupping motion and making a variety of different voices saying, "Yeah, let's do it. Let's get these bastards. Graham's right. Rand is a pussy." Before turning around to adjust what some in the Senate say appeared to be a visible erection. At which point the majority of senators burst out laughing, and a confused Graham turned back around and screamed, "What's so funny? What? None of you have never needed anything so bad that it made you a little crazy." At which point Tom Cotton replied, "Lindsey, we're messing with you. We already agreed on the war. It was a prank. We just wanted to make you beg since you showed up late today. When have we ever said no to you?"
Oh, that's good.
So that
One
is
thing
Brian
I have
Long.
noticed, like as we continue the money printing and we continue the endless wars, Lindsey Graham has less and less of a chin and a jawline.
At least it's
Why do you think
correlated.
that is, Stephen?
So he can deep throat your wallet.
There we go.
Just siphon it off right there, just right off the top.
Fair enough. I dig it.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank y'all all who are still listening, watching, all that good stuff. We appreciate it. Yeah, maybe next time more than 2 people will come dressed up for Halloween. But I don't know.
I totally forgot.
I had things.
I reminded you like all day today.
No one said that we were dressing up.
I was going to come dressed as a Walmart cashier, but then you wouldn't see me at all.
That was really good. I like that.
The Invisible Man.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Good night, Brian. We'll see y'all next week. Appreciate y'all watching. Tune in. I think this week on Free Georgia Podcast is Derek Bros talking about Monero and the Greater Reset. So that'll be on Monday night, 8 p.m. Come back next Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern for more Liberty Libations. We'll see you then.
Cheers.